We now know what the draft plan geared toward improving bus service in Durham looks like. Triangle Transit and the city have been working on a review of the Durham Area Transit Authority for the past year. The goal of the project, called Designing Better Bus Service in Durham, is to adopt a 3-year plan that will do just that.
Designing Better Bus Service in Durham is our year-long planning effort to take a holistic look at the bus services provided in Durham and identify ways in which we can make it work better for current customers and the community at large, and also prioritize what improvements would be made with additional revenue sources. These are the revenue sources that were identified in the Durham County Bus and Rail Investment Plan last year, and one of those sources, the half-cent sales tax, was endorsed by the voters last November overwhelmingly by 60%.
The 4 goals of the project are based on feedback, surveys, and meetings that have been held with riders, neighborhoods, and other bus service stakeholders.
The first of those is to improve safety and the perception of safety. Largely that means here on the bus, dealing with overcrowding issues that can lead to conflicts, and at the bus stops, which can also be overcrowding, but it also can be lighting, other aspects of people feeling safe at the bus stops. The second goal is improving the service quality. Largely that means on-time performance in this context. We'll look at other aspects, so we have looked at other aspects, but on-time performance is the big improvement we're making. The third goal is we're calling fiscal responsibility, and that means in the most cost-efficient manner possible, meeting the targets of serving as many people in the city as we can, especially those who really rely on the service, but also trying to maximize the ridership. So doing those 2 things as cost efficiently as we can. What that tends to look like in the draft plan recommendations is matching service levels to what the demand is on the street today. So more frequent in some places, less frequent in other places. Fourth goal is community benefits. And what we mean by that is trying to be consistent with the economic development goals, with greenhouse gas goals, making sure that we're providing new access to jobs and the job centers in Durham, to the educational opportunities. Typically, we're talking about the colleges, Durham Tech, North Carolina Central, and Duke University, but also the public high schools.
The draft plan was developed using those goals as a guide, and the key recommendations were presented during a public workshop on March 21st.
The key recommendations, and this is what we can do if we have all the revenue sources. And then some of them are things that we can do in the base scenario with existing revenue, and others we can do later. The big thing is improving on-time performance. Today, the system runs at about 61% on time. We're going to move that to 90% on time. Makes a huge difference for customers if they know that what's printed on the schedules is when the bus is going to be there. The second big improvement is creating a frequent bus network. So what that means, today the most frequent buses run is every 30 minutes. That leads to overcrowding in some of the busiest corridors, and it means that it's still a fairly long wait between buses. So we're taking the busiest corridors and we'll bring the service up to every 15 minutes during the daytime hours on weekdays. And that would connect downtown with Duke Medical Center and Golden Belt, that's the Bull City Connector today, and then replicate that frequency of service between downtown and Northgate Mall, between downtown and North Carolina Central University, between downtown and the Village Shopping Center out Holloway Street, and also down to Durham Tech. The third is addressing that safety concern, and those are improvements at bus stops. So that's a couple things we're trying to do there. One is make sure that there's a safe place, it's away from traffic, it's well lit, and it's comfortable. And also that at the busiest stops, places like the Village Shopping Center, Northgate Mall, places down by North Carolina Central University, Durham Tech, that there's enough space for people to wait, that they're not in bushes, they're not crowded on the sidewalk, that people can have ample space to wait for the buses that are coming on. There are more. We're also going to improve the service availability, and that means for data bus services running until 9 p.m. on Sundays instead of 7 p.m. and also the connections between Durham and Chapel Hill, Raleigh, the airport, running later on Saturday. Those are Triangle Transit routes, but that's part of this plan. And starting Sunday connections on Triangle Transit to the other communities.
Besides getting a chance to learn about the draft plan during the workshops, residents are invited to attend a public hearing during the City Council meeting on April 16th. The City Council is expected to adopt the final plan in June.